as I mentioned, I mean, the title of my talk would be EdTech a New Horizon. So, a brief and introduction about myself. It's already given, but still, I'd like to introduce myself. So, I am Amit Rakshit. I completed my graduation from University of Burdwan, specifically Hooghly Mohsin College, and then I moved to IIT Bombay for my postgraduate degree. And then I have been placed at Byju's the Learning app as an associate content development. Okay, so basically, so there is a new vibe which is called edtech. I mean, ed and tech. I mean, what does it mean by edtech? Education and technology. So I'll be definitely going into a little bit deeper. So it will be a completely, not completely, it will be a slightly different topic rather than completely, I mean, academic research oriented, something like that, or rather it will be a topic which is a bit more job oriented. Okay, so what does it mean by ed tech, ed and tech? So basically, ed stands for education, definitely, and tech it's a short and abbreviated form of technology. So basically, education and technology, these are the things. When they are merged, it becomes actually edtech. So there is a beautiful story and there is a beautiful friendship within the edtech industry. So the thing is that edtech industry cannot survive with just education and technology because there is something that we need to take care that there is another team is very much involved, which is media. We cannot forget that. So see, the thing is that education and content we can provide, no issue. Let's say x squared into x squared, it becomes x power 4. And let's say the technology is something that we incorporate in education because we have a lot of tablet programs, and in these days there are so many apps and so many companies are coming up with very good and new ideas and how to cater very various educational content towards the students. And definitely there is a media team which is involved and who brings the beauty and who actually beautifies the whole educational content and makes it more engaging for the students, specifically for very lower grade students, let's say class 1 to 3, and I mean class 4 5 as well. And definitely we the students or with the teachers, we are also in a very nice and practical bond with the industry. That's all. I mean, this is a very nice story about a beautiful friendship. So there is one, like people may ask me, I mean, what are the criteria, what a candidate or what a employee should have so that he can be a good successor and in these education and technological or tech based companies. So definitely, it's very sure that we need to have a very content-wise good knowledge, and so that we are all thriving towards very good contents, very good colleges, and very nice courses. Definitely, we must have very useful and good content. Definitely reliable as well. Then there is something we call it is creativity. It is a skill. It is something so that we can design something so that we can aesthetically present something in a good way. Okay, so probably in my second list it would be creativity. So in my list, the third point could be learning. So people may ask me, okay, so we are teaching, we are delivering content towards the students, we are delivering content towards the kids. So what we need to learn? See, the thing is that learning is an endless process. It cannot be, it is an indefinite process. You cannot say, I know everything. I know each and every part of each and everything. It's not. Even today, I'm also learning. So whenever you are becoming somebody who is involving not only in edtech industry, but also in any other industries, you must have learning aptitude or learning attitude. That okay, so in Byju's, we follow uh, what to say? We follow a tagline: learn, unlearn, and relearn. Learn means definitely we need to learn. Unlearn means we forget. It is very obvious that suppose we are learning something or we are studying something today, after 1 or 2 months we may forget. It's it's totally okay with that. And then relearn. I mean, we need to revise so that we eventually it grabs into us. Okay, so learning aptitude is a must thing. Then come I'll be coming to this part, which is communication. See, communication sometimes may be a very underrated topic, but communication definitely you must have a good communication skill. Suppose you are going to be a very good teacher, then how can you be a very good teacher? Let's suppose you know a good topic. Let's say you know something x into x minus 3, it becomes x square minus 3x. And suppose you are going to teach this thing sixth grade student. How do you teach that? So you just cannot say that, okay, see, it happens x into x minus 3, it happens x square minus 3x. So how can you deliver that content in a good way, in a more promising way that the student or I mean, the student understands basically. That is the whole point of this. Communication skill is a must thing. Also in other industries, let's say um, where you need to deal with some clients or you need to deal with some in other members or maybe team members, you need to have good communication skill. Suppose you have something in your mind and you want to convey that to somebody, let's say to the client or to your teammates, you need to have good communication skill. And see, this is something it develops eventually. It doesn't develop in a day or in a month. It develops eventually. So fourth in my list would be teaching. So definitely education, where there is education, there is teaching, or teachers are the backbone of this education. What we call it. So teaching is something I differentiate with content and communication as well. Teaching is something that incorporates both of these. You need a very good content. Let's say a content which can be incorporated with very nice visuals and that can be communicated well to the students. So teaching is something like that. And definitely if you love teaching, let's say if you want to teach to your cousin, if you want to teach to your sister or brother or maybe your fellow friends, and sometimes you may have this story. Okay, so let's say your some of your friends are asking you something. Hey, I do not understand, like I can't understand something, and can you please teach me? And you are teaching to that friend, or maybe to your sister, or to maybe to your brother, or someone like that. So in that case, you are actually involving your teaching skill. So teaching is a skill that can be beneficial in this industry. And the I mean, last and most important point I'd rather say is be childish. Suppose whatever I'm uh, teaching to the students of, let's say, grade 7 or grade 8, those are the contents that I have learned, I mean, 6 or 7 years back, or maybe 10 years back. But now it is very easy for me. But how can this be easy for that standard kid? It is not. So whenever I am trying to teach or whenever I am trying to create good educational content for those age group of people, what I follow, I think like I am a sixth grade student or I think I am a grade 7 student, and then I try to create content or build visualization how a student can learn. So in a way, it's good to be a little childish so that you can actually incorporate the childish idea in your content. Okay, so basically what are the educational qualifications nowadays any edtech company require? Any technical graduate, any let's say if somebody has done any engineering graduate, btech or be, so they are I mean they are applicable. I mean they can apply for the job. Any postgraduate, let's say MSc, masters in any subject, MTech, MSc Tech, anybody, they can also, I mean, apply for the jobs. And definitely other PG degrees. So it's, I cannot say that normal graduates are not capable enough, but companies want at least postgraduate. So this is the new norm right now. And as of now, no one is looking for BA. So it's a relief at some point, but I cannot tell what about the future. Okay, so and how can we find the advertisement? I mean, we need to have some advertisement or we need to have some openings so that we can apply for the job. Definitely, it's a good opportunity is campus placements. So it's better you try to get into a good institute. Let's say IITs, NITs, BITS, and any other reputed college also. So last year in 2019, Byju's has conducted, I mean, all the reputed institutes, they have conducted their recruitment drive. So let's say IITs, NITs are common. Then BEATS also they have recruited from. In Kolkata Presidency College, they have recruited few people from there. And also one more thing is there are a lot of lot of different posts. I mean, a lot of different designation. I am working in the content team. If somebody likes to do coding, I mean, or somebody is from a coding background, they can be the part of the tech team. And if somebody is very nice, like at some drawing or at some media work creation, they can be a good part of the media team. And definitely even in the content team, so there are a lot of opportunities. So apart from the designation what which I work on, there are subject matter experts who work on, there are mentors who work on the content department. So campus placements, I mean, it's a very luring opportunity. Then there are career pages of any company. Let's say Byju's has a career page, Vedantu has a career page. So you can go and go to that career page so that you can find any, if there is any openings, you can look for that. Apart from that, there are LinkedIn profiles of some very good businessmen. Let's say Baiju Ravindran or Divya Gakulnath. Those are the co-founders of Byju's. They, if you can follow, or maybe if you can follow the Byju's pages itself, they, I mean, they open few jobs, they advertise few jobs in their LinkedIn profile and in some Facebook advertisement also. There are few apps like Naukri.com. They in this, if you can find your profile, I mean, if you can sign up with your profile, then you can find few relevant jobs as well. So all these things are you need to do after you completed your graduation, or in tech, or let's say if you completed your post graduation. So only after that you can apply for that job. So just these are the future. I mean, in future, I mean, students can go for that, and definitely there are other resources that can also be relevant to like in case of finding a good advertisement or a good job. Okay, so basically, few most of these companies follow a single procedure. So the procedure is involved like there is a test. Basically, I'd rather try to say test of creativity. So in a minute, I will tell what is test of creativity. Or sometimes they can conduct a teaching demo. I mean, demo teaching interview. So after that, there would be a different interview, a second interview, or we call it a second round. This would be conducting with few case situations. Let's say if you are going for a teacher's interview, then the interviewer can ask you, suppose there is a 450 students, I mean, there are 450 students in a batch, and you are trying to teach them. If there are 50 students, they cannot understand what you are trying to teach, then how do you come up with the solution, and what is the solution you gonna follow? So this kind of questions, I mean, situation based questions, it's a it's an interview as well as a personality test as a teacher. Then if you can qualify the interview, then you are done. I mean, congratulations, you are in, you got a job. And let me tell you, the I mean, the package is also nice. It's not that will be they will be hiring you for 15,000 a month. It's not like that. And this is because of something, because there are a lot of edtech companies are there, even in India. Let's say in India, Byju's is the most valuable edtech company right now. There is Vedantu, there is Unacademy, and there is Topper. So there are a lot more education and technology companies are, they're coming up with innovative ideas. So this is a very, I mean, probably this is a very booming sector. And in this COVID situation where students are learning from home, in this situation, this edtech sector has got a boom. So I must say this could be a very nice opportunity. And as I mentioned you, there are six major skills. If you have, you can be a very good and successful, successful person in this edtech companies. So definitely there is a graph. Byju's is the most valuable with $10.5 billion of industry. It's now in the world's most valuable edtech company. We call it edtech startup, but it's it. We also in the list there is Vedantu, there is an academy. They have also managed to get some good funding from the investors. So definitely they are also not lagging behind. And there are definitely other US based companies, let's say this Udemy or Chinese companies are there. So that is something we like. I want to tell you this valuation is increasing more and more, and people are investors are wanting to invest more. This is because this is a very nice sector. This is very booming sector. And suppose I'm an investor, where will I invest my money? Definitely a profitable sector. And Byju's, or let's say the edtech sector, is definitely is a very profitable sector. Last 2 years, Byju's has, turned profitable. Though the company Byju's has started long back, it was started or just founded by Baiju Ravindran in the year 2011, and but now it has got a very nice revenue and profit as well. Even in this COVID situation, people are losing job, and in edtech sector, companies are promoting their employees. So this is the difference. And there are huge growth opportunities in any edtech company. If you go anywhere, let's say if you are going to Byju's, Vedantu, there is another company, Mbibe. So there are a lot of growth opportunities are there. Maybe sometimes you will get bored. Sometimes it may get very monotonous. You cannot do anything with that. But it's fine. It's okay to get bored. It's totally fine to also fail, because no one is there who has succeeded each and every time. There must have some failures involved, and then you must have a never stopping attitude. You should never stop. And if you do not stop, then growth is followed by your failure. Okay, sometimes you may get failed, but then you are growing. If you are succeeding, it's good, and if you are failing, you are growing. That's it. And definitely I'm gonna show you an example, so that I can tell you, or I can share that is what I do. What exactly we are doing. So there is something, see, this is completely a different slide, what I actually made. So let's say this is one chapter to be taught in class, let's say for grade 6, and they do not know what speed, what is the distance, and what is time. So you can't say that the speed is something, it is defined by distance and divided by time. You can't say. So what we have done, we have incorporated some stories. So the story is something like, let's say this Anna and Andy, they are running very fast to attend their school, and there is Jimmy and Simi. They're not. They're not very fast. They have started earlier, so they don't need to rush. So this is a story. So from here we incorporate the idea of speed. How a same distance can be covered in less time with more speed, and the same distance, if you want to cover with a less speed, then you will need more time. This is the main idea of the story. And this is some mathematical jargons. After 3 or 5 slides, I have tried to incorporate, and definitely see, the thing is that there are few there are few things that we need to need to think. Let's say this thing, this table or this box, this was created by me. We the creators create these tables in a it is not completely blank table, with a little more colorful, so that it can be visually more, more engaging, more what to say, more visualizing, more eye soothing, I'd rather say. And definitely these are the things where the presenters, who is the complete teacher, they are kind of they will write something, and they incorporate the ideas of these slides, so that the students can be more engaged. See, education is something, a student doesn't want to learn anything, because it's very good for them to play here and there. Play, go to the ground, play. But if you want to teach them something, and if you want to make them engaged in a video, you can't just sit in front of the camera and you can't tell, okay, this is this, and that is that. You just have to more creative something. You must have a visualizing, something you need to visualize more, that can be incorporated. And definitely this is also something. See, I have incorporated the idea of uniform speed, because in the first hour, second hour, third hour, the speed is 40 km/h, and in non-uniform speed, the first hour, second hour, and third hour, the speed is different. So see, these are little things. All the three colors are same here, but here this is different. So how you actually convey your content in a more visualizing, in a more eye soothing way, in a more good aesthetical way. This is what is more challenging for this edtech sector as a content developer. And also these are the main things. This is created in Google site, so no fancy animation I have tried to incorporate, because there are some technical what you say, there are some technical limitations. And with this thing, I would definitely again want to convey that if you have these skills, well, if you have good content knowledge, if you are more creative, if you have a very learning aptitude, if you can learn, or if you have a very, if you want to learn more, and if you have very nice communication, and you can be a very good teacher. And definitely you must have a childish attitude. And probably that's all. That is what I wanted to tell. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you so much, sir, for this informative talk. And thanks for showing actual your working slides actually to depict out the essence of teaching. And I would like to know, is there anyone who is having any question regarding this field of educational technology, edtech? Is there anyone?
Okay, probably. If not, if you are, few people may have some questions, so you may contact me directly by
Yeah, definitely. We
just
can
by
forward your contact details to them. So I have a question, sir, which may
yeah.
sound blunt apparently,
Hmm.
but are these posts of instructors, say, in
Hmm.
these edtechs,
Yep.
are these posts age specific? Because while surfing the social sites like Facebook, we often come across that in the advertisements, there's most of the instructors are very young or middle aged. So is
See,
there
the
any
thing is that no,
education?
there is, as part of the company, they do not provide you any age restrictions.
Mhm.
Technically or officially, there is no age restrictions. You can apply for the content job anywhere or anytime. Let's say if you are, but definitely if you have a prior experience, then it's a boom. You will be getting more opportunity, because suppose I have, let's say, if I have a 5 years of teaching experience, then if I want to join one, let's say Byju's or some Vedanta or any company, then definitely they'll be happy to take me, because I have got the experience. If I don't know, like, if I have the communication skill or not, but then if I have a good communication skill, if I can somehow convince them that, see, I'm the one you need to take because I can provide good, I mean, good content. I can cater good contents to the students. So it's kind of a give and take policy. Company will pay you in a good way so that you can provide something to the company. That's it. So that is there is no proper age restrictions as of now. And see, in corporate world, people will if people will see whether you are capable enough or not. They won't judge they won't judge you by your age or by your appearance. They will judge you by your talent. That's it.
Okay, got it. So, if someone is hired or absorbed once, so these posts are like permanent, right?
Yeah, these are also, yeah, I just there is these posts are permanent. They there are, and so also there are few part-time opportunities are available. Let's say in Vedantu now they are hiring for online teachers, which is a work from home based job. You can and you can earn very nice. I mean, you can get around 25,000 to 50,000 just by working 4 hours a day. With a and also I just want to mention we have a week off. I mean, we have a week off of Saturday and Sunday because I work from Monday to Friday. So 2 days of week off, and then I mean 8 hours of work, and then also you have got plenty of time so that you can uh, so that you can you can get some me time. I mean, let's say if suppose you get into one edtech institute, or let's say one edtech industry, and then you want to prepare for something. Let's say you want to prepare for UPSC. Okay, like so many people does that, and they can also get like at least 4 hours a day. They can manage 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours a day. They can study. They can do anything. They can independently research if they want. So I would like to say sometimes it may be hectic because this is very new sector. See, startups are sometimes very hectic because they will provide you a plenty amount of money, plenty amount of package, but sometimes they will take your time. Let's say in a month, sometimes you need to do some overtime. And if you are doing overtime, they will also pay you. It's not like they don't gonna pay you back. It's
Mhm.
not anything that you are doing for free. If you are working for extra one day, you will get the that day's extra package. That's it.
That's great. So, thank you so much, sir, for joining us and spending this much time out of your busy schedule. Thanks again, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for this. I mean, very nice initiative. I always told them like I don't know, like Kuntal and Devashita who contacted me. I told them like you guys are doing a very nice job, and it's a good, very nice initiative.
Thanks a lot,
And
sir.
okay, thank you very much.